Mas, você quer que eu acenda essa luz? Essa outra, dá uma olhada na cadê o menino? That's all right. So, good morning all. Good morning. We are starting our session of the Rural Café. Otherwise, we don't have like the microphones weren't connected to the computer, so if we have external noise, it will be transmitted to the whole world. So we just need a quiet public as soon as we get everybody here. They will be finishing some things, but we are going to start in any way. So I want to ask for some people to join me here. That's the people that subscribed on the email that wants to participate. So Dr. Marjorie Cross. Dr. Gobi. Okay. Bruce. Yep.
Bring my wife.
Yeah, that's all right.
Come on. I'm going to sit down.
Bruce and then Dr. Zakir. Dr. Ewing. Paola.
Brazilian.
Amber. There's John. Shankar. Shelley Nolan.
She was going to come by the video.
Yeah, okay. Roger and Sarah Stresser. Ivan. Dr. Joe. We have our secretary who is helping a lot to settle everything. He's there, so as well you can join us. Dr. Wesley. He's not here? Okay, Pratyush. Come on. Dr. Sari. We have also Karine, that's already here. Ana Julia. Magda. We have John from Philippines. Yeah. And Dr. Shiley. So it's a crowded rural cafe, as usual. We hope we can fit everybody on the screen. We will have our coordinators, and Grace is coordinating the Twitter feed, so a round of applause to her. We do have Karine, who is coordinating the Facebook, and Thais and Paola, who is coordinating the YouTube as well. So happy that all of you are here. We are going to do a very brief introduction. You say your name, where you are from, and we are going to start the cafe. So I start from my left.
My name is Marjorie Cross. I'm from Australia. I sometimes join the Rural Cafe, but it's well known that it's at 2 o'clock in the morning.
My name's Ian McPhee. I'm from Australia as well. I have insomnia and I love the Rural Cafe.
Hello, my name is Dr. Amber Wheatley. I'm a young doctor originally from the Virgin Islands, but practicing in Wales, and I was there for the very first cafe, so I'm very happy to continue.
Yeah, I'm Roger Strasser, a rural doctor, originally from Australia, but now in Canada, and I also participated in the first Rural Cafe, which if you look at it, I was dressed uncharacteristically. I was actually wearing a black tie.
Sarah Strasser. We went back to farm in the originality stakes. I think not to say global, but currently Australian.
And I'm Judah. I'm from Australia and originally from Egypt. Spent half my life in Egypt and half in Australia. So I can relate very much to what's happening with this project, and it's fantastic.
Hello everyone, my name is Anne Chater. I live in a small country town in Queensland called Theodore, 450 people in our town, about another 1,000 in the district. I run my husband's general practice, so I'm a practice manager. I've raised 4 children in this small town, and I'm also a school teacher, so I have a few hats in my community.
And I'm with her.
Hello everyone, my name is Karine Pous. I am a young doctor from Brazil. I just finished the medical school last year and started my family medicine training.
I'm Sek Valera from the Philippines, and this is my first time here and I'm very excited. And I'm a second year family medicine trainee in the provincial hospital of the province of Northern Samar.
I am Paola, a medical student from Brazil.
Hi, my name is Ana Julia. I'm also a medical student from Brazil.
Hi, my name is Sathik and I come from a very rural area of Rajasthan, India, and this is my first full rural cafe and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Serin Kuliakos. I'm basically from Kerala, India. I'm a practicing family medicine specialist for the last 3 years.
Hi, I'm Pratyush. I'm from India.
John from Wales, addicted to India.
I'm Dr. Smritya. I'm from India. I'm a young rural practitioner. It's going to be 4 years, and this is my second live rural cafe. Most of the time, I join through Facebook. Thank you.
The next third live rural cafe, I'm the fortunate one. This is Zakir Rahman from Bangladesh. My motto is creating young leaders for rural health and preventive care.
Thank you. I would just ask for Dr. Rahman to come as well.
Dr. Rahman, please come.
Yeah. So glad to have all of you. So let's have you're going to need to find a place.
Camera's not back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
You can come.
So good to have all of you. It's always great to organize a rural cafe session. I hope we are starting to have some feedback on Twitter, on Facebook. So when you have, please bring our coordinators will bring it to the talk. And that's my third live in person cafe, and it started in 2015, and it's always very good to see Amber and Sarah and remember Veronica as well. That we are here and the project's growing. That's our 30th edition, so we have done a bit of rural cafes, and we have integrated the work in some way during these cafes, and this is the most rewarding part of that. So we are in India, yeah, so some people are addicted to India, others were experienced we had the music yesterday, the dance, and we're having a great conference. And I just want to ask, I remember the last cafe in Australia, live cafe, where Pratyush and Nurut were introducing the India conference, and now we are here making it happen. So that's wonderful. And I just want, anyone wants to comment how is being the experience in India?
I always have to put my hand up first. So I think one of the best things about this experience, so I'm a young doctor who's 2 weeks into my emergency medicine rotation in Southwest Wales in Carmarthenshire. We're a semi-rural area, but we serve a very large rural community. A lot of our patients come much further away, 2-3 hours. There are farming communities who end up with all sorts of accidents, often animal related, in our emergency department. This morning we had the workshop on emergency medicine for rural physicians. And although, you know, every emergency is ABC, we all know that no matter what center you're in, you practice it. It was really nice to hear other people's experiences of what to do in low resource settings, how you improvise, what's the most important thing for you to do. And I'm really happy to take that back to West Wales and try and make that work there. Although it is a developed country, bits of Wales aren't as developed as they would like to think. So it's very nice to come to conferences like this and, you know, learn skills that I'll be able to take back to my colleagues who probably didn't expect me to come back with anything they could use in Wales.
Thanks for the question, my experience of India is that I actually came in 1996 on behalf of the Royal Australian College of GPs to talk about rural training. I fell in love with India then, so I'm very glad to have the opportunity to come back. And although we were late to the conference, the little that I've got out of it so far has been fantastic. And really wonderful to have this forum with the Rural Café to be able to spread that word right now. I think about the presentation I did, and I think I was in, I can't remember where I was, probably in Delhi, but anyway. You know, there were just a few scattered people in the audience and no one would have heard it. And that was rural training in the very early days of family medicine training in Australia.
I think the stunning thing about this conference, and it follows in what your footsteps really, Myra, that you said in Brazil, no one knew what family medicine was, so you told them. And when they said, we don't have the opportunity to send you to the rural areas, you said, I will. And that's, I think, the lesson from you for India in lots of ways, and that India doesn't yet have much in the way of family medicine, doesn't yet have much in the way of departments of family medicine, doesn't yet have much of the exposure of students in rural areas. And yet all these students, the students that are here, are running this conference. And it's that enthusiasm, that drive that can make India great with respect to family medicine. It's not the old grey hairs, John and me and others, and the equivalents in India that'll do that. It's you guys driving it and saying, we want to go to rural areas. How are you going to get us there? And I think that's just been a fabulous part of this conference.
Just, yeah, to comment on what Bruce is saying is the amount of energy of individuals that can change countries and systems is amazing. And we've seen that in the conference for obvious, like young people with a lot of energy in them, and they want to change, and we've seen examples of this happening and changing systems and changing governments sometimes. And you know, I'm talking also about how young people in Egypt have changed government. So I think we can change the way we think about rural medicine around the world from the energy from the young people.
Well, I love India with a passion, and I've been here about 10 or 13 times, I think. But this time, attending this conference, I came to present on domestic violence, and so I wandered around all the other presentations on domestic violence, and the very best one came from Bangladesh. And I'd like to see us coordinate some of these conference presentations, because a young man from Bangladesh gave the most inspiring of the domestic violence presentations.
But he brought it.
So,
You all are my inspiration.
any other comments?
Just another grey here. Making a comment. Just my comment is that for me, when we come to this conference, we see so many commonalities in our passion for rural health, the challenges that we face in rural health, and the solutions that we share from this conference. And I think I've learned so much from everybody here in this conference, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yes, for me, I would say that this conference is really exciting because it's about the future of rural health and rural practice. Clearly here in India, with the drive and the energy, the commitment to make things happen and to smile and nod to the naysayers, but just get on and do it anyway. And as Ewan said, we have so much in common. People, healthcare providers in remote rural communities around the world, we have more in common with each other than we have with the people in the big cities in our own countries.
So we are talking about the future of the rural health, and I need to say that in the last rural walk in Cairns was just Nayara and I in Cairns, and now we are very happy because we have more 3 medical students from Brazil and one more training family medicine, and also experienced doctor from Brazil. So now we have more, and I believe that in the next conference we can bring more people with us.
It's turning into a real cafe.
Coffee's coming. Okay. Maybe some black coffee so people don't have milk. Yes. So the first and in Australia we had actually I remember they bring some traditional thing that you drink in Australia. I don't remember the name, but the beer. Brown. Yeah. So like Billy tea. So we are bringing we should have chai here, isn't it? So, but I just want to ask for the medical students. And we do have like some people that are new to the Rural Café, and I want them to comment. So, like we're saying, Observius from Paola.
Actually, we are very happy and glad to be here. I think this is an opportunity to say thank you for everybody that helped us to be here, for everybody that's here to contribute to the walk, and for us and for our university. This is a big step. For sure, they are looking us in a different way, and as you know, in Brazil, we don't have a rural culture, a rural family medicine culture, and I think that to be here, it's a big step for us.
No, I will cry. Sorry. Yes, because for us it's really beautiful to be here in India. I never imagined that I could reach here. I was doing a placement with Maya in January, and then I participated in a rural family medicine cafe. And then they were organizing the conference, and she said to me, "Oh, go to the conference, present oral presentations, do workshops." And I said, "No, Maya, it's impossible." And now I'm here, so it's really a pleasure to be here.
I'm very great. I mean, on a personal note, I'm very grateful for this experience. Being here for the first time is a pleasure for me, and to all my colleagues from the Philippines, it's our first time. And we have very similar realizations with all of you. And when we came here, we were here to present for the first time to an international audience. And we were so amazed with the stories that we heard from other doctors around the globe. And we had this feeling that, hey, we're not alone. We have the same experiences. We are suffering the same from the same experiences, from the same stories, and we have our similar solutions to the problems that we have. And we are very grateful because we have this avenue to share our practices and learn from each other. So really thankful for this opportunity.
I just called Joy to come as well. Yeah, you can
Hi, this is not my first cafe, but can I just say that we have a bond around the world, and when we first started the Russian party, these people became our friends. My kids could travel anywhere in the world, and there would be somebody that they could go to if they were in trouble. So what I say to these young people who've just joined the cafe today, welcome to the family. You will enjoy that. You will get so much from it.
just readjusting for Joy. Do you want to come on, Joy? Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Dr. Joy Mugambi, Chair of the Wonka Africa Young Doctors Movement, and
A new member of Wonka.
a new member of Wonka Rural. I'm a very rural practitioner, and I'm grateful to be here. Mayara has done great things. She's made us link up as rural practitioners and as doctors in Africa, and with the 7 other YDMs. At least now I've met Amba physically, I've met Mayara, Zakir. All of them have been my virtual friends, but we never met one-on-one. So Rural Cape is bringing people together.
One interesting thing that myself and Amber, we met in this conference as well. So
Yes.
we didn't like being great friends for a great while, like 2 or 3 years. We just met physically at this conference. So this is one of the things that being a rural conference like this makes you hug the people that you just met on the computer. I just want to ask for sharing that you know, I can't say it.
For me, the Rural Cafe is like a dream come true for me. I never thought I would be sitting here in front of so many intelligent people. And coming from a rural area, it's always like people always tell they are from London, they are from big cities, but they never actually take proud of their heritage if they are from a rural area. So a Wonka Rural Conference has given that touch to us who come from rural areas and who practice in rural areas, and it has recognized the importance of the doctors who are working in rural areas. So a big congratulations to everyone who's here and who is been practicing in rural areas and who come from rural areas who make this conference a success. And being a medical student and then OC member, thanks to Pratyush, who brought this conference to us and gave us a wonderful chance to indulge with such intelligent people from all around the globe and tell us about their experiences. And thank you a lot for helping us and making us a part of your family. Thank you.
I live in a city. I was wondering what's the need of rural cafe? Because I was thinking, though I am working in a very rural area, I was thinking the problems related to my practice are limited to me. But after meeting Mayara, who came to my place, spent 2-3 days with me, she visited where I practice, where I go to substanders for immunization, for field. Then we had a discussion. After that, I realized that wherever you go, in whichever part of the world, rural area has something in common. We have to work with all sorts of skills with very limited resources. So that makes our work something different from when we work in a urban area. So that brought me some new light to the rural cafe. Then I agreed, Myra, that I will be glad to join rural cafe. And this is my first rural cafe, and I will be very glad to continue with rural cafe. And lots of thanks to Myra.
I'm just happy, delighted, and humbled by listening to all your comments. It's been a great effort by all of you to come here from so many countries and participate in this conference. Thank you.
Very welcome for our first time here. Thanks, Mara. Thanks, actually, organizer, Ramon and Pratush with your team, because we are neighbor. I was part of organizing committee. It's an excellent piece of work they have done here, and they are coming up with rural because this source of vision is very important. And I am from Bangladesh. I am with 26 Bangladeshi, my delegates, and they are very young. Their average age is around 30. So we are coming up in recent years in 2020. This same sorts of rural cafe will be hosting in Dhaka, and we are inviting just before. One of my junior colleague I want to speak up. Can you hear? Please stand up. So she is the young lady. She has an e-health project in Bangladesh. You know, Bangladesh now not electronically so updated, but we are trying. She works on e-health. Those need no network. Without the network, one can only keep it mobile, asking something and getting the message from rural areas. And some of things are done by our rural heroes, and we will come up next. Thank you very much.
Can I just ask to Andressa, do we have any feedback on Twitter? How is going?
Yeah. Does it work?
Yes, yes. You can talk.
Okay. We have a comment. Really nice. There's an Indian word we use today that is satsang. That means company of the good. Charlie Prasa just tweeted this. And also, Ginger Ramirez tweeted, "We may share the same challenges, but we also share the same passion, drive, and commitment to make things happen," just as we are talking here. And there's also, let's see here, Jita Manu Sahu said, Competence and collaboration across the globe is a step towards equitable rural health access. It's really nice, really good thing.
Thank you. It's coming. So if you can join. You can comment on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube. So you can just choose which platform you feel more comfortable and try to comment at the growth you bring to our discussion. So.
Hello, it's Anne Chaden from Australia. I'd like to take the conversation on to a slightly tangent topic, and the word family has been mentioned a couple of times in conversations this morning. I'd like for everyone to remember that it's your families that support you in your rural practices, and it's your spouses, your partners, and your children that support you to do the wonderful work that you do. And I do think that, perhaps when you are thinking of moving rural, it's important to consider your spouse, partner, family's predicament, because I think one of the predictors of staying long-term in a rural area is the satisfaction of partners and spouses. And there are lots of things you can do to make that happen. Australia has had a rural medical family network support community that supports rural families, whatever that may look like. It's what a family looks like has changed a lot since I first went to rural area. So I think part of recruitment and retention is to remember the families that support the wonderful work that doctors do.
Yes, just to carry on with that, I think that we should consider the rural hero to be also the family that's supporting the doctors. It doesn't have to be the doctor. If it wasn't for my wife, I won't be here. That's for sure. So,
just a real rural family, nice and Café. We're bringing the family as well. So some people did the talking yet, so I just want to maybe to comment and having some comments now. So from Dr. Ramana.
Mayara.
Thank you, everyone. We put on all our efforts to make this dream come true, bringing all of you here. But we have gone a lot of efforts, put a lot of energy into it, but it's worth what we are seeing now. And I'm really happy and energized with this conversation through Café here now. India is such a big and diverse country. This conference has really impacted our system before it actually happened. And, I'm sure it will have a long lasting effect on our systems in India. So thank you all.
So I'm Dr. Smriti, I'm from India. My journey with my this excellent colleague started in 2015 November with Dr. Ramana arranged our second family medicine conference in India, and randomly I saw one topic on rural health. Pratyush has organized that. And I was practicing in rural areas since 2014, and I was like, okay, I'm just another doctor in rural. Nobody cares about my work and kind of work I'm doing. And in 16, I guess, we launched WhatsApp Pratyush. Yeah, and then Dr. Shailen Raj shared the common compassion and energy towards, and definitely we all gather together and we all have common challenges. I got associated with my round rural health success stories. We got many stories from all across world, and I always believe every opportunity gives you some lesson, gives you a direction towards life. And I got to learn many things from my friends from South America. The way they handle the situation, I could implement that in my practice, and that is really satisfying. And I met many of you in Keynes. We were virtual friends, become good friends, and I'm glad in 2020 we'll meet again in that way. So, yeah.
Just one of the reasons that I really like the Rural Cafe, echoing exactly what you're saying about, starting from a small project, thinking no one cares about you, and blossom into the stuff that we've done today and in previous events. I come from the Virgin Islands. Most people have no idea where that country is. I always tell them it's an empty space with an arrow that says the Virgin Islands. But one of the things I really liked about the Rural Cafe was that it kind of gave me this hope that I could get onto this platform and hopefully maybe I might find some other Caribbean doctor who believes the same things that I do. A lot of the Caribbean islands don't consider themselves rural. Our aim is to be, a nice metropolitan, but on an island. Take it that what you will. But to me, I believe exactly the problems that we have in rural medicine and the solutions will definitely work in a lot of Caribbean cultures because we have the same work environments, we have the same political problems. So one of the things I've been trying to do with the Rural Cafe is to sort of talk Caribbean physicians into say, okay, even if you don't believe you're rural, maybe we can try to adopt some of the practices that have worked for rural areas and make them work for the Caribbean. I'm really happy at this conference. I actually met another doctor from the Caribbean, so I'm like, yes.
In India.
Yeah, so we've talked a lot about the rural cafes bringing people together virtually and then in person and with these face-to-face cafes, and that's fantastic. I think for those of you who have not participated previously, it's worth recognizing that usually there's a specific topic or focus for the Rural Cafe discussion, and that I think has been invaluable, whether it's about research, whether it's about education and training, whether it's about practical issues like dealing with emergencies. I think that's a real added value of each Rural Cafe, so I think it helps to not just strengthen that sense of commonality and collegiality, but it's really practical for making a difference wherever you are in a rural community in any part of the world.
She's my first coffee in a rural cafe. We always have a mate. Yeah, tomatoes and tomatoes. So I'm having the coffee. That's all right. So I just want to ask if anyone from our audience wants to bring any question or any comment. If you want to bring, I just ask to come here to the front and sit on the floor and bring your comment. I know it's a little bit hard, but then people that were watching us around the world can see it. So, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Oris. I am from Ukraine. Do you know where is it? You know, I noticed that from Slavic speaking countries, no people more than me. Am I right or not? No.
And then again, I missed it. Sorry, I didn't know yet.
From Slavic speaking countries, no delegates.
Does Croatia count?
Okay.
There's one from Croatia.
It's not
From Croatia, okay. So, I am very grateful to organize this, and especially for Aman and for two that they made possible for me to come, because you know that our country is quite a big country. We have 40 million people, and it's 30% rural, and we are now in phase of reforming our system from Soviet one to the European one, and I am glad that, like I heard from a representative from Philippines, that we are not alone. And I am so grateful for such a good environment here, that everybody is so friendly, and hospitality is so big.
We are rural.
Yeah, we are rural. That's a big privilege, yeah. So I wanted to ask John that I haven't read about one Europe rural. Is it not possible yet? Will it be possible?
Yeah, I established Wonka Europe rural network back in 1997. It's called Eureka, and it's actually very active. We don't see much of them here because they do their own thing. They have their own conference now, and they're doing some great stuff, and they're doing some joint research. So, I mean, I would eventually like to see all the regions doing that and actually getting involved in and sharing projects and sharing research. So, yeah, you know, it's a very live and active, and you know, you've got to join them.
Yeah, we've got a job now.
I'll put you in touch.
So, anyone wants to? Okay, so.
I would like just to stress the importance for Magda, sorry. I'm Magda from Brazil. I'm here with all these Brazilian girls, and I want to strengthen the power of this moment in the conference, because Rural Café and Twitter and other social medias, they are a way that we came together, but the power of being here with you, the energy is not the same. And so we invite all of you to be in the other conference, because they put in some energy to the rest of the year until the other conference, to be together and thinking about rural health in the low middle income countries. I know this some are the same problems, but the solutions are not the same. We have to think about this, and the Rural Cafe will talk about this, the kind of solution that we could have in our country. But please go to the others conference to take this energy for the entire of the year.
Thank you, Magda. We have another one.
Very good afternoon. I'm Dr. Sumit Dubey. I'm a dental surgeon. Basically, I was a rural dentist. When I saw the situations in our country, so I became oral health activist. So there's a difference, a transformation from a dental surgeon to oral health activist. I have my own clinic in Lashkar Nagar, Delhi, but I have adopted approximately 87 villages across India. And I'm doing it selflessly and by my own funding. So this particular conference is attended because of Pratyush and everybody. Reason behind is that I feel that there should be a good correlation between a dental and a medical fraternity. And there are a lot of patients who comes to us, they have a lot of medical problems in which we cannot do the root canals, dental implantations, a lot of things. Dental knowledge is limited, but when it comes to the physician, so it is for the benefit of the population. And rural population, it's everywhere across the globe, there's a scarcity of it. And when I was doing my work, I used to feel that I'm the only one who's doing this job. Coming to this conference and seeing several people and everybody and doing their every bit of pieces into the work. So this, even the Rural Cafe has given me the platform to speak about it. So I just feel once we go back from the conference, we should always get in associate with the other branches as well, so that we can contribute to the mankind. Reason behind is that as far as my knowledge is concerned, we are not allowed to take anything up. So let's leave it for the people and make a better universe for everybody. Thank you.
We do have one comment. We have a group from Norway they had another presentation for the media. So can you came here? Introduce yourself.
Should I go first?
Okay, then after.
Hi, I'm Christina, and I'm actually sort of representing the other doctor from the Caribbean. Clemenceau, there you are. It's Clemenceau, come sit with us. We were really sad not to be able to be here because we had our presentation at the same time. But I wanted to invite you all to sort of a bit of an extension of the Rural Cafe and maybe have a coffee with us at 2:30 when we do our e-poster. But the reason is that I don't know what you've been talking about. We are one of our struggles that we are trying to bring focus on here is our challenges with traditional voodoo beliefs in Haiti and the challenges that brings to fill up Clemenceau's waiting room because people don't come to see him as a biomedical doctor. They choose to see the traditional healthcare providers first. And I'm sure that there are many here with the same challenges, and we would love to share experiences because we're ready to build up on collaborations between the traditional healthcare providers and Clemenceau and his colleagues in a rural commune in Haiti. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
So just to say thank you to all of you. So it's a very good work. So when you work in the rural area, because you are directly with the people, because those people are very in need. And we know that it's all over the world, in the especially in the Caribbean, we are very in need of that to work with the people because they are very in need. So thank you for
Another one coming. You can stay if you feel comfortable. Stay.
So mine is a very quick question. So I'm Mandy and I'm from a rural hospital in New Zealand. But mine's a sort of question, it's a challenge to you young guys. I'm so impressed and you're amazing and your collaboration around the world. And my challenge to you guys would be, are there places in the world where there are rural primary practitioners that you guys have not yet reached? Where are those places and how are you going to reach these young people?
So the ones that are not here, we're trying to reach them on social media. That's much more where we are working and networking. And we do have the project of the mentor-mentee that we hopefully we will have like a structure to come with a second edition, because what we think and feel is that we shouldn't have sometimes you feel isolated and people will leave the rural area. So like go to a urban setting or to another rural area that's less isolated. And then we listened this last year in Cairns, and then we came up with the idea of constructive mentor-mentee program. So we grabbed mentors from all around the world and mentees as well, and then we connected them. And then we are trying to reduce, that's one of our answers to trying to reduce isolation for those that were not here. And those that were not here physically, they are commenting on Twitter, they are joining us on Facebook. So that's a bit of a way of connecting ourselves.
Yeah, so where are these areas that you want to target?
The whole world.
I mean, there's plenty of areas out there. And as I said before, if you look at sub-Saharan Africa, you've got 8 out of 10 not covered by healthcare. But there are other issues. One of the issues is language. And Magda, we've come across this in South America. Got really good links in Brazil. But actually in Spanish-speaking South America, this is a really difficult challenge. And we're hoping to use the conference in New Mexico next year to kind of engage, because it's a Spanish-speaking area. So I'm actually on the Facebook page of the Peruvian doctors. I don't speak any Spanish at all, but we communicate with Google Translate. So, you know, what I suggest to you is go out and use things like Google Translate. Another group are the Francophone nations, and that's a problem. I know that to a certain extent that's a problem in Canada, but it's certainly in parts of the world, and certainly in North Africa, you know, actually more people speak French than any other.
Yes.
And so language is a big issue.
Africa? So that's Joy, which country are you from in Africa?
I'm from Kenya, though we do also face the same challenges because we have the Francophone speaking countries, and those really have a challenge even with internet connectivity. But we've tried our best. We've connected Mayara with quite a number of them, the rural kids, and we are continuing to do that.
So unfortunately, we are coming to our end of the Rural Café. I'll just so everybody will have a chance to close it. Okay, so we have a last question. Two last questions. Please, yeah, and then Amber, do you want to comment after? And we are going to. You comment now.
Okay, so just to answer the lady's question, about the regions that don't that we're trying to reach. So as John said, there is first the countries with different languages, and also places that don't have an established college of family medicine. So if they don't have, you know, an idea of what is family medicine, it's really hard to try and get people interested. And that's certainly one of the problems I faced in the Caribbean. We have a Caribbean College of Family Practitioners, but because it's splintered across the different islands, the students don't necessarily have a focus point, and it's very hard to get them motivated then. One of the other ways, in addition to social media, that we've tried to overcome that is we created a little booklet on how to run a rural cafe. So even if you can't join our monthly cafe, you can have one in your local area in real time.
Actually, we have a session that we're running in Africa as well, and we have sessions even in Latin America that's coming up. So we are very, very happy. One of things we had one rural cafe you can watch later about what is family medicine, and I was really impressed that we have people from all around the world that say, "Oh, I asked it at my university what's family medicine," and the students say it's the medicine that the whole family take. And I was like, "Oh, that's not exactly what we're talking about." But you know, that's one of the things that we are trying to go against prejudice and learning with each other and trying to exchange. So it's bringing, if you don't have in your community, never mind, I didn't have a rural placement in my university, and I just start to ask and keeping asking, now we have. like, and not just asking, but doing a little bit of, pressure, but social media pressure, but it worked, so just a hand up to that.
Is from
Hello everyone, I'm Shuman Hussain from Bangladesh. I'm very delighted to attend here, and thanks to our respected teacher, Dr. Jakir Rahman sir. He has inspired all of us. We are 26 in number from Bangladesh, attending ONCA conference, and we hope that we'll do with ONCA Rural Café for the next times. And it will be my pleasure and our team's pleasure. Thank you.
What is your name?
And I am also very grateful to Primary Care and Rural Health Bangladesh, whose president is our respected teacher, Dr. Jakir Rahman.
The boys medical students here in medical college, 200 kilometers apart our capital city.
Hi, I'm Roshni. So I'm immensely delighted to be part of the Rural Café today. The reason for just a small comment, that I have a humble contribution towards rural health. So say about 3 to 4 times a year, I do visit my native village where I serve about 200 odd people. I'm serving in. I do a health checkup. I do give medicines free of cost. I buy it on my own, and I have a target population there, as well as I do free lab tests for them. So with this idea in mind is what I launched Project Setu with, that if the urban physicians could also collaborate with the rural physicians, and across India we would like to, and even internationally in a large way, to serve the population. If we could map across India, one rural, one urban physician, and then go serve, as well as call in the rural physicians for them to feel connected and build up a network this way, that would be great. So I invite all of you, and I want to link up and connect with all of you. Thank you so much.
So unfortunately we need to finish. I just asked for final comments. We can wrap the microphone around, and then each one can do your final comment, and we will need to close. But I was following even before the conference, and that's a wonderful work. Oh, actually, all of you are doing a wonderful work. The Bangladesh students, everybody is incredible. So, can I start on my back?
Final comment. Being allowed to make a final comment, I'd make a very strong call for issues about women in medicine.
My comment is thank you, Mayara, and the girls from Brazil. I think if these girls keep it up, we might all be talking Portuguese very soon. Thank you.
So my closing comment is a common phrase from Jamaica. They say we little but we talawa. So it means even though we're small, we have a great impact, and I think that's at the heart of what rural practice is about.
Well, thank you, Mayara, and the whole team for bringing us together with the Rural Cafe and John and the Working Part in Rural Practice. I think, as I said before, this is about the future, and I'm very excited about how the future that's before us in rural health around the world.
Sarah again, and what I'd like to say is thank you, Mara, and thank you, John, and yes. I think that what I keep being struck by with the rural cafes is that it's one more element that helps a rural doctor stay being a rural doctor, and really important. So attention.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mara again and thank the younger generation, because just attending something like this and attending this conference with the amount of younger people, you just feel that rural medicine is safe in the future, and that's very important, because as a rural doctor, sometimes you face challenges and you're worried about what's going to happen. But seeing that energy and what you're doing here, and connecting the world together is fantastic. So good on you. Well done.
Hello, my final comment would be to say everyone has to pick up the scrubbing brush and make a difference to your community. Everyone, don't wait for government, don't wait for funding, don't wait for bureaucrats. Just do it yourself and get on with it.
My final comment is that's why I married her.
When Anna said, oh, I thought that from here was impossible, I remember the phrase, start doing the necessary after what is possible, and when you realize you will do it, it's possible. So we are doing it possible.
So I think Myra has taken the first step, and now we all have to take the second step. That is to take the rural cafes in where we are from, where we are living, and that's how the rural cafe is going to become a big thing. It can't be happening just a year and just a month. We have to make sure that it happens everywhere, every day, or it becomes a part of our life. Thank you.
My comment will be from my experience, what I have seen. Most of the people go to concluding thinking that we should work for the people, we should work in the rural areas. But after some time, we get bored, we get fed up, we think we are isolated, we need to go back to the urban setting. But when we connect to like-minded people through rural cafe, we get that energy back. So my point is, stay connected, keep up the spirit.
In this conference, we have discussed lots of rural problems, and but I feel that we don't need to search outside for the solutions. Basically, we are the solutions, and we are the change makers, and we have to make sure that as young doctors in our lifetime, we don't see another situation like MDT within the team, health quality within the team. Every year, another goal comes, and we will achieve these goals. We have to make sure that in our lifetime, any goals is coming, we achieve it. And because that we are the change makers and we have to do it. Thank you.
My just humbled me. Just so many young people around here, so much energy. One little word of caution is that these are big problems ahead. We're actually providing care for these communities. People who actually have never had care before. So I think our role as grey-haired white men, as I say, but our role is to nurture and help. And I think we've still got a role in handing over the leadership. But I think we need to develop leadership skills. We need to bring more women on board, all those things. But actually, we have a role in supporting and handing over the baton to that next generation.
My final comments would be thank you for this live video conference again, and I would like to connect with you all virtually henceforth. And let's all come together and create a path for our own self rather than waiting for our governments, our policymakers to create it for ourselves. Because together we can really make change in the society we are living.
Thanks all senior and special thanks all young staff from around the globe. And my final comment is in slide, we are for rural health. Please say yes for rural health. Can you please once more say loudly yes for rural health?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
What I've learned from the time I've been around is there's a big need for emergency medicine in rural. The attendance to the 2 workshops that we have held has been tremendous. So I think moving forward, Mayara, maybe we need to do some bit more in terms of training in emergency medicine.
So the Philippines is for rural health. We are proud of it, and we
we thank you for this experience to join everyone, and we hope we could emulate this rural cafe in our own country so that we could achieve our goals of reaching out to the other doctors, to the other health professionals who we'd like to converse with, engage with, and share stories with. Thank you very much.
Wonderful fine work, well done. And keep working and keep moving forward. My humble suggestion, I think you have already done 30 editions of 30th Rural Cafe, and we need to reach out more to the world. Probably, think how do you scale up and make the network bigger, and probably scaling and developing franchise of different languages, different parts of the world, all cities, all areas, cities, but connecting everyone. Interesting, challenging. You should scale up the challenges.
Yeah, first, humble thank you for all the work that you've already done. Coming from rural Norway, a wealthy area of the country, still struggling rurally, working a lot in rural Haiti, I know how much it is to learn from exchanging knowledge across all different fields with a common area of working rurally. And I can't wait to participate in the cafes coming up.
I just want to say thank you, Mayara, for presenting me rural health. Like Mayara, Magda, and Andressa. And being here, it's a pleasure. In Brazil, we say obrigado.
So my comments to the other doctors is to let us young doctors so learning from them, because it's very important. So we are young, so we are very neat for them to spend time together.
Thank you, everyone. The most important thing is that we are people from different countries, different colors, different cultures. But one thing is that we are one, and unitedly we are very powerful. If we work for rural health, inshallah, I think that it will be great. Thank you.
Inshallah means keep Almighty wants.
Yes. I would just say as a concluding statement that we should just do our bit, not wait, as Ma'am was saying. And if we extend our hand, I think we will help a lot of people. So just do our bit, and cheers to rural health.
I just want any final comments from Twitter, Andressa?
Well, we have actually a comment on Facebook that it was really nice from Shelley Nolan.
Another member of the council.
She said, the enthusiasm of this group is so reassuring and brings focus to the issues in rural towns and people's homes as you share these stories. So essential.
Can I just make one note there that is our first non-doctor member of the Wonka Rural Council. Shelley is a nurse.
So I just want to say sometimes everything, the whole of us lies in myself, but I never have been, anything of this is made alone. I didn't make anything of this alone. So I would really thank you, Amber, Veronica that's not here, the girls from Brazil, Karine, Bianca, Ana Julia, Paola, Andressa, who is coordinating, Thais, even Magda, and all the people that's involved in rural seats, in rural health stories, Pratyush, Smirti. I can't remember now the name of all people, or it will be like a long list to keep saying to you, but it's so many people involved. It's not just myself. I facilitated. I had the first idea, but it's not made alone. So that's the feeling of being together and that together we can change the world. So thank you so much for being at this Rural Café, and I hope we can keep going.
Como é que corta a transmissão? Como é que corta a transmissão? Linda! Bye! Dá tchauzinho, Thaís! É.